Welcome to another Leverage Addict podcast where we uncover the secrets to building wealth through property investment in New Zealand. I'm your host, Blandon, and today we have an extraordinary client and guest joining us. Sharon, a single mother of 2 children, accomplished something truly remarkable. Within just 2.5 years, she turned her $1 million mortgage-free property into an astounding $5 million property portfolio. Today, we'll be diving into Sharon's journey, exploring the challenges she overcame, the sacrifices that she had to make, and the invaluable lessons that she learned along the way. So listen in as we uncover the strategies, tips, and mindset shifts that propelled Sharon's to her incredible success. I'd like to welcome you, Sharon.
Oh, thanks, Blandon, for all of the beautiful word over there.
Yeah, like I said before, I had to get AI to help a little bit because I was quite last minute. But hey, just between me and you and the people listening. As a tradition to a podcast, our guest shares how much leverage they're working with. So Sharon, you can tell us how much mortgage do you have right now?
I think it's about 3 mil within 2.5 years.
Far out. So you got $1 million every year. So we're going to dive into exactly.
Yeah. Well, I actually want to leverage a lot more though. You tell me how.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's certain ways we can definitely dive into that. But before we do that, I'd like to get to know you a little bit or let the audience know you a little bit more. How did you get into property investing in the first place? And what made you go into this path?
I love making money, so obviously that investing in property is one of the ways that I see that it is the easiest way and the most sustainable ways to make money. Mm-hmm. And previously I already invest in kind of the stock, Bitcoin and property, but at the end of the day, property is still the main thing that I find the most sustainable.
Oh, that's awesome. So I understand the motivation with making money, and it's definitely in our blood being Asian. But there must be something else that sort of pushed you into that path. You probably came with younger kids, and you started in a new country. Maybe you can tell us a little bit more, sort of what lined you up into properties.
I think that it actually starts with what I really want to be and to have. So the vision that I have for myself and also for my family, which is that me and my 2 children at a time, which is that to be free financially and not just financially, but also emotionally as well. And also the ability to create impact to the other people. It is about, to show what the possibility in life that you can achieve and that you can have. And especially if you're a young mom, single mom, if you can do that, then it's going to be a great example that you also can inspire other people as well. So it actually starts with that long-term vision first. And because of that, so it gave me the drive to know what is that I need to do to deliver that vision. So that's how that I get into the property.
Yeah, that's really awesome. So you really wanted to set a good example, not only for yourself, for your children, for the people around you.
Yes.
And you kind of found that, starting in a new place, well, it's a new chapter. You can just start blank and you can design a new Sharon 2.0. And that's sort of how you got into it. That's really awesome. Maybe you can share a little bit about the key lessons you learned during your journey, because you did grow your portfolio pretty quickly. I would say one of the quickest out of, there's only like a handful of clients that built it that quickly. So you went from 1 million to 5 million in just 3 years. What strategy or approach did you find most effective?
In terms of the learning, wow, it actually a lot of pain that I go through during that time so that I can get some of the learning. But the first thing I
would love to dive into a little bit of that. Like, since that you say, okay, well, you had some challenges and pain because you came 5 years, but you built majority of your portfolio within the 2.5 years. So what happened in the beginning?
At the beginning, I haven't got the resident visa, so I couldn't buy it. So I only had the resident visa about 2.5 years ago. And just about 2 weeks after I got the resident visa, then I got my first house. The reason I can start that quickly and have my first home that quickly because I have property code. Mm-hmm. So it actually also my first learning. If you want to go far and go ahead in life, you definitely need to follow someone already have the significant results. There are a lot of property coach out there. So I think that it's going to be, if you really seriously about investing in property, you definitely need to find a person that have the best interest in you.
How did you find this coach? Like, how did you know to go, okay, like I'm in a new country and then suddenly I'm going to get this property coach? Like, how did you end up there?
So firstly, that I know that I need to have the coach first. Yeah, because I know that all of the
How do you know? Who told you?
Well, all the game changer in the world that they have it, right? Like Mark Zuckerberg or Steve Jobs or anyone that if they want to succeed in the high level, they need to have the coach. And also like if we want to go for a job, that you need to go to the university, and that university take about 4 years for you to, to learn all of the skills. And a lot of times and a lot of money that you have to spend so that you can start with your job. So how about with your wealth, that you also need to have that same mentality that you need to learn from someone. Yeah, so start with that one. So that probably my first lesson. Yeah, have the coach. It's really helped me. And the second learning, I think that it need to have some sort of level of obsession with what you really want. Yeah.
Obsession, huh?
Yeah, obsession with what you really want. Because obviously that a lot of struggle that I went through during that time as a single mom, have 2 kids with me full time, and also had full-time job as well, and also very demanding job at some sort of the global company as well, and have a bit of the side business on the side, and also with a property investment as well. So it actually a lot on the plate. Yeah. The thing can help me overcome all of that. Firstly, that I know what is that we want to go at a family, which is about, to want a family of the freedom and create the impact. So I have that level of the obsession. It just drive me, to go through all of the struggle and take a massive action that it require.
So what were some key challenges that you ran into during this journey? So you got your coach, and then what was the thing that you need to overcome? What was the barriers that you ran into?
Well, I could say probably a lot, especially during the times like when I buy my first one. The first one, it always, so many problems with it. It is about the fear of making mistake, and also the fear of so overwhelming with a lot of information, feeling like that a lot of information out there, but also have the feeling it not enough.
Yeah,
so overwhelming. And also the next thing is that because property is it has such a high value, right? So if you make a mistake, it's gonna be very costly. So that's why having the property coach at that time is really helpful for me. I lean on her a lot. I wasn't there to make decision at that time, so I have to lean on my coach to make all of the decision, to do all of the negotiation and every deal. And the deal at that time.
So at the time when you got the coach, what was the strategy or the approach you were taking?
So at that time, it's just quite standard. Just buy something in essential and then renovate it, try to add in the value for that one. Yeah, so that the strategy for my first one, from the second and the third, and I actually changed the strategy.
Yeah, because you did. I do remember, because you came and you're like, hey, like you're just looking for more. We're like, oh man, who's this lady that came, just asked so much questions? Who does she think she is? Sharon became one of our best clients. Maybe you can tell us a little bit, like what were you were obviously looking for some answer, right? And then you changed your strategy 360 from investing in Auckland, and then the second one was in Chicago. What was the mind shift there?
Yeah, so after I got my first one, right? So my first one, I got it just about 2 weeks after I got the resident visa. So I still remember that when the agent, at that time it was a buying agent that he had me to buy that one. So she called me and saying that our offer got accepted, the vendor size on it. And oh yeah, but it's just that at the second thought to me instantly, how I'm going to go with the second one. Yeah, how I'm going to have the second one. So I think that firstly that about the mentality of a little bit hungry, one more. And then on that day that I talked with my coach and my mortgage broker at that time to plan for the second one. And my mortgage broker at that time that told me that after this one that you're going to get stuck because of your survivability. And I think, no, it's too early. I don't want to stop. I don't want to stop yet. It's too early. It's too early, only the second one. But then he said that.
How come you didn't say that about your children? You stopped that too.
Yeah, not too much. Okay, you need to keep growing.
Okay, no, I get it. So at the time you were like, okay, you're going to get stuck because of servicing. This is something everyone runs into. What changed then?
Well, and then he said everyone gonna get stuck because of this serviceability. But I believe that there gonna be another way, some of the other different ways to overcome that challenge. Yeah, I know there is a challenge over there, but it is about that how we're gonna overcome it. So that's why that I went Google search. At that time it doesn't have the chat AI yet, so so I just Google search how to increase your serviceability. So that's why I know about Mortgage HQ. And then I talked with one of your mortgage broker, and he's really good, give you a lot of great advice, and also, show the ways that how we actually can grow the portfolio to keep buying and also to keep growing. And from that, what I really, another lesson there, it's all about who you know, really, that is separation. Otherwise I could have stuck after hyping.
There's definitely something you're good at. Like through the time that I've known you, you always start telling me about like, oh yeah, I started talking to so-and-so and then like they taught me this XYZ. And I'm like, that's awesome. That's a really good job, Sharon. So definitely some key lessons there. You've got the motivation and the drive, obsessed with your goals, talking to the right people, right? Building the right team around you. So what was the strategy that changed for your servicing?
Well, at that time, it actually go against the belief that I have before, which is that, just buy something that within Auckland, buy something that it can increase the value. It's more about the equity building, right? But after I talked with one of your broker, then he showed me the ways that in terms of the portfolio that we need to have the balance of both cash flows and also the equity so that we can keep buying. And he also showed me about the number as well, and the number don't lie. And obviously that's something that already go against the belief that I had before. It took quite a few days for me to absorb that new knowledge, but eventually it makes sense. Yeah, so as soon as I feel okay, it makes sense, and then, I just take action.
I love the fact that you took action, because even though sometimes we give the same information to multiple clients, but some people they just can't get past it. Like they just still have so much fear. So what is it that helped you? You know what? Like, okay, I understand what you're saying. And then you went out to do it, because you went from like buying, thinking about, okay, I'm going to buy another $800,000 unit. You went to buy something for like 150 or 200,000 or something like that in Chicago.
Yeah, it's just that one. I think that it's just about 305. And I still remember that I bought that one. I put the offer one on the 31st of December. So I called the agent and I say that, okay, I'm going to put the offer in that one. And for that one, I haven't seen the property.
How come you're not scared? I want to know.
Oh.
Or are you just crazy?
Some people thought that how come that you buy property without seeing it? It's not by, not by any of the clothes. It's not the but now that I can see that we can do online shopping with pretty much with everything, as long as you know what is that you're looking for. Yeah. So because at that times that I know what I'm looking for something with the high yield. So at the time, I think that I'm just aiming for something that more than 7%.
Well, at the time, interest rate was 2%. So
yeah, which is 2.3%. But with the current market, obviously that you have to aim a little bit more. Yeah, so I just know what is that I'm looking for, and also that you can have the builder to inspect the house. In terms of the reading the document and everything, you and your lawyer also can do that already, and you also can talk with the builder, to see about how much that you need to put in for renovate it. Oh, and I think that one of the reasons that why at times that I can be so a lot more confident buying the house without viewing it, because when I buy my first one in Auckland, I already view a lot. I pretty much go to open home or do the private viewing every day for about 6 months. For 6 months, I view after finish my job, right? So I do the viewing every day. So I feel so tired, so exhausted. And after the viewing, well, obviously that I have 2 kids at home that I also have to look after as well. Feel so tired to the point that my mom said, okay, just buy whatever. I still remember that call when I was on the car after finish the viewing on the car and go down the Harbour Bridge. And my parents just say, oh, just buy whatever, You need to look after yourself because of when you already put a lot of effort in viewing the house, you have a better sense into what is the house that you're looking for, even if it's just the online shopping house.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So actually you did a lot more homework, even though you bought that second one without seeing it. But before that, you did 6 months of homework and you kind of get a feel how something might look in the pictures and what they actually look like. So that's really good. I love the fact that you said you can lean on other professions, because for me and my wife, we finished like a South Auckland bill recently. And they're like, oh yeah, you can come in for a final inspection. So me and my wife, she's an architect. So she does building as a profession. We went in, we're like, oh yeah, there's only like 2 things that we said we should, oh yeah, can you make that scratch go away, pretty much. And we didn't see anything. When I listed it with the agent, he's like, oh, I think you should still get a inspector to come in. And then the builder was like, he was kind of angry, like in the email, like, oh, why would you, like, it's a new build, you don't need to get an inspector. But the agent, I know him for a long time. This builder, I don't. So I trusted the agent. The agent's like, look, $220, you should do it. Get an inspector to do it. And so the inspector went in and came back with a list of 7 things to change. And I was like, man, that's good money spent, because I don't want to sell that house and then have to fix that later on when the build contract's finish. So I'm just thinking, well, for majority of mum and dad, right? If they're like, oh yeah, I'm going to go look at the property. Well, what are you going to look at? I don't know. I'm in this industry. My wife is in the same industry. We saw nothing. So you're better off to pay professionals. You got the property manager to look at it. You got the agent to look at it. You've got builders to look at it. So it's just way better to lean on other professionals.
Yeah, that's right. That's also one of the really good learning. If you want to go far, you definitely need to not just leverage on money from the bank money, but also leverage on other people as well.
Are you leveraging? I hope I'm not being one of the just.
Well, leverage here in a good way, not like I take advantage from you, but know what is the value that you can bring in the game.
It's okay. You can take advantage. You can take advantage as long as you buy the whiskeys. No problem.
Okay. I know you're not drinking Manta though.
My next question, we talked about some of the fears. We talked about how you maintain like a positive mindset. If someone was starting their journey today, right, from the beginning, and they want to achieve the same level of success you have, you obviously shared some of the key things. What are the 3 action steps that you think they can take today and they can build a portfolio?
I think the first one, it always find you a person that who have the best interest in you and you can lean on them. Yeah, so that is the coach, the mentor.
How do you know? How do you know that they have they want the best for you though?
Well, because it is their business, right? It is their reputation, and it's the and I believe that every of the property coach, if they already the coach, if they already mentor, that you need to have the best interest in the people that you're gonna mentee, right? Yeah, so that's the nature of the job like that. And obviously they find that they have to have some sorts of the results that they can show you.
So that's good. That's good, because you're kind of leaning on the fact that, hey, they're running a business. That's why you pay them. So there's a vested interest for them to have your success. If you just go to get free stuff, sometimes you're not getting the best result that you want.
Definitely not. When you go to the university, that you also have to pay quite how much that it costs for university here?
I had something like 50K debt when I finished. That's because I went to art school and I didn't finish, and then I did a degree afterwards. So that's 7 years of
7 years ago. Yeah. So you have to pay a lot of money for university as well, and that also a lot of time, like 4 years, full-time learning. Yeah, so it's also the same thing. If you want to be successful, if you seriously want to be success in the property investment, you need to have the property coach. No doubt about it. So that's the first thing. And I think the second one, it is about a mindset, really. The mindset, it is the separator. In the mindset, what I mean here, it is about hungry mentality. I think it's really helpful, to not settle for less. So like after I have the first one, so I'm going to instantly think, okay, how can I have the second one? After I have the second one, okay, I'm going to constantly looking for the third one already. Yeah, and after having the third, 4, 5, how many that I have now? But then after that, then I want to go into the property development because it's actually a lot more challenging. And yeah, so I have a couple of the development project right now, but it's more challenging. So I love it.
And you even got some joint venture partners, essentially, right? You're getting other people involved, like, hey, come join my project. Like you're like next level. You went from like 2.5 years, 3 years Like, oh, I'm going to do a renovation and, maybe add a bedroom. And then now you're like, I'm going to do a development.
Yes.
Yeah, that is so awesome to see you grow, Sharon. So maybe tell us a little bit more, like what are you looking forward to now with your property investing? What are you sort of pushing towards?
Good question. So for the property, now at first about 2.5 years ago when I invest in the property, right? Then I just think, okay, this is just something that I have to do it, right? I have to do it. But the more I'm doing it, the more I love it. And now I'm just seeing like, this is going to be the thing I'm going to continue. I want to be full-time with property, really. I want to do it full times. Yeah. So the next step with the property, so obviously I'm going to still keep doing two things. So development, which to get me the equity, and also the rental cash flow, which to give me, the passive income as well. Now, in terms of the development, so I see it is a huge opportunity here in New Zealand, just because the market here is still early, right? In terms of the development, you need utility plan.
Unitary plan.
So it just start from the 2017 or 2019, just about that, right? And in terms of the margin for the development here is still quite a really good margin compared with other developing market like in Australia. I really want to do a lot more with that. And also we're looking for the ways that how to accelerate that to the next level so that we actually can do more and more development within that short timings. I mean that in the next 3 to 5 years. So one is that we're still doing the development by using our current money. Yeah, but how we're gonna still doing development by leveraging on the other people's money as well. So we're thinking of some of the idea here, and we're actually exploring it right now. So having some of the investor money, something like that, raising the capital, cooperate with some of the teams as well, or the organizations, so that we can.
Or your broker.
Oh yeah. Good suggestion there. Yeah.
Oh, that's really awesome.
Yeah, but also the thing that I see here is that the more that you do, the more that you're gonna see is that you can do more. Just get yourself into the game so that the next door gonna just keep open.
I think there's also one big fear for a lot of newer investors right now is like, well, this market's not good, Sharon. Interest rates so high. Like, you started a couple of years ago. So why are you still buying right now? What are you thinking? Because you bought this year, right? What's the advantage in this market?
Wow, this is the best market to buy, really.
Why is that?
Well, if you're looking at the price right now, right, is that for the Auckland market, I think that it's declining about 21%. And a lot of the signal right now that we can see is that it reached at the bottom of the market already. So if you're not buying now, when? It is the best time to buy, really. Yes, I just settled one about 4 weeks ago for development and looking for another one right now for doing another development project. So even the interest rate, it is high, but obviously that the money that you can save on the purchase price is a lot more than the total amount of the interest that you have to pay.
Yeah, it's interesting because in the beginning of the dip, like start of 2022, I thought, oh my gosh, South Auckland is hit so hard. Man, the sections were selling for over 1.2. Like right now they sell for same section, 800. And so the margin's actually coming back at those prices. But at 1.2, I'm like, man, you might as well just, if you have any South Auckland property, you should just sell it. But I couldn't sell mine because I had to fix a EPA. I had to fix the EPA before I sell it. Essentially, it was really tough in that market. But now the margins make sense. So good on you for picking up that development. So there you have it, folks. An insightful conversation with Sharon, single mother who turned her $1 million property into a remarkable $5 million portfolio in just under 3 years. We hope you guys gain valuable insights and inspiration from her journey. And remember, success in property investing is possible regardless of your circumstances. Sharon's story is the testament to that. So stay tuned for more episodes for Leverage Addict Podcast, where we continue to uncover the strategies and stories of individuals leveraging their ways to financial success through property investing. Now, don't forget to subscribe. And if you find value, share this episode with just one person who you think will also find value for it. And before we go, we just want to say thank you, Sharon, for sharing such an awesome story.
Oh, thanks, Brendan, for inviting me.
Until next time, I'll see you guys again.